Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings, so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a report from Global Clean Energy Holdings, and let me tell you, it's a real roller coaster. With a twist I didn't see coming, think of a clean energy company that suddenly needs a really big reset button. That's where we're going today. Scrolling states, Scroll, today's filing is a Form 8K, which is basically a company's way of shouting, hey, something important happened. And in this case, important means bankruptcy. That's right, Global Clean Energy Holdings, the company with big plans for renewable fuels, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Let's see what happened. So the first big event is that Global Clean Energy Holdings has entered into something called a restructuring support agreement. This is a deal with key people who have lent the company money, like certain lenders and investors. They are trying to work out a plan to reorganize the company's debt, which is why they expect to start a pre-planned process in bankruptcy court. It's basically like a financial reset button that they hope will give the company a fresh start. Scroll specifically, the restructuring support agreement and the plan provide in pertinent part as follows. Croce now, let's dig into the details of the restructuring support agreement. There's a lot of financial maneuvering here, but the core idea is to keep the company running while it figures out how to pay its debts. One key point is that the lenders are providing new loans to keep the business going during the bankruptcy process. Another key detail of the agreement is that once the new bankruptcy plan has been approved, the people who loaned the company money in the past will now own most of the company. This means that the people who owned the company before the bankruptcy will no longer own the company once the company exists bankruptcy. And here's the kicker for current shareholders. All of the company's existing stock will be cancelled without any payment to the current stockholders. Ouch, that's never good. It means that current investors are likely to lose their entire investment. Another important deal that's been updated is with Vivatol Americas Corp. It's a supply and offtake agreement, simply a deal to buy and sell fuel. This agreement was amended or changed to reflect the company's bankruptcy and to align it with the new financing arrangements. Scroll items are pre-bankruptcy or receivership. Scrolls as so, to put it simply, Global Clean Energy Holdings has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Texas. This allows the company to keep operating while it works out a plan to repay its debts. The company has also filed a plan to go along with the bankruptcy with the bankruptcy court. We talked about some of these items earlier. To keep the lights on during bankruptcy, the company has secured something called Debtor in Possession Financing, or DIP. This is basically a loan specifically for companies in bankruptcy, and in this case, it's a commitment of approximately $250 million in new funding. This will help GC each to pay for things like existing bills which the bankruptcy court allowed, fees for administering the bankruptcy, and basic operating costs. This should allow the company to continue operating their business while in bankruptcy. Scroll item SADA 22004, triggering events that accelerate or increase a direct financial obligation or an obligation under an off-balance sheet arrangement. Scroll CHA filing for bankruptcy triggers some pretty serious consequences for the company's existing debt. In this case, it means that the lenders can demand immediate repayment of all outstanding loans. Now, because of the bankruptcy, they likely won't get paid right away, but it definitely adds to the company's financial pressure. Let's see how much money we are talking about exactly. Here are the debts that are now due immediately as a result of bankruptcy. There is over 39 million of borrowings, which are basically loans under one credit agreement, which is an agreement to borrow money. There is about $1 billion of borrowings under another term loan. Another $49 million of borrowings Scroll S.O. Delaware Limited Liability Company Fighters Maker and GC each as payee, and Scroll $8 million from a promissory note. Scroll Sustainable Oils Inc., a Delaware corporation. Cactus Maker and BKRF OCB, LLC, a Delaware limited liability company as payee Scroll Scro. And lastly, another $35 million from a promissory note. Scroll item 2, departure of directors or certain officers Scroll. Before the bankruptcy, the company gave out some retention awards to its executives, as in payments for them to stay during this difficult time. Noah Anondavelun got $282,875. Wade Atkins got $23,712. And Antonio and Miko got $262,175 at Econscrow 1 regulation FD disclosure and Scroll. To let everyone know what's going on, the company issued a press release announcing the bankruptcy filing. These press releases usually contain a condensed version of the information in the 8K. Here are some last few announcements that the company made. First, the company's stock listing changed from OTCQB to OTC Pink because they filed for bankruptcy. The USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, cancelled the company's participation in the Partnerships for Climate Smart Commodities Grant program. The company is invited to reapply at a later date. The company warns that trading in its stock is risky during the bankruptcy process and that stockholders will most likely not receive any money from the bankruptcy. As always, the company includes a cautionary statement about forward-looking statements. This is basically a disclaimer that says, hey, we're making predictions about the future, but things could change, so don't rely too much on what we're saying. Now let's step back and take a look at the bigger picture. Global Clean Energy Holdings is facing some serious challenges. The bankruptcy filing is a major setback, and current investors are likely to lose their entire investment. The company is trying to turn things around with a restructuring plan and new financing, but the path ahead is uncertain. One of the company's strengths is its focus on renewable fuels, which are becoming increasingly important as the world tries to reduce its carbon emissions. However, the company also faces significant risks, including its high level of debt, the complexity of the bankruptcy process, and the possibility that its restructuring plan may not be approved. Overall, Global Clean Energy Holdings is in a difficult situation. The company needs to successfully navigate the bankruptcy process and execute its restructuring plan in order to survive. However, even if it does, the company will likely be smaller and more focused than it was before. Whether the new debt holders will do a better job than the old debt holders remains to be seen. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Corporate Decoder videos.